Okay, girls. So we'll continue with the lesson theory of evolution.
Shane is watching a nature program on.
Okay, and we'll continue with this population and individuals. I told you what is evolution. It is the process by which population change over time. We have read about this before.
Yeah.
And I hope this works out.
Variations in traits can occur within population.
They will show you that how the variation occur after many years. Like example, like you see the difference between the previous bird and now bird from 1974 to 1983. How about the weather? How about the different animals, or how the genes have affected, new breeds have affected. So that change is actually nothing but evolution.
Due to random genetic mutations. Factors within the environment can favor one trait over another. Peter and Rosemary Grant are two ecologists.
Girls, tell me how environment affect. You remember I told you about that white color fox which is snowy in the winter and it becomes brown color in the summer. You remember that? I was explaining you. Yes. So it's like how the environment slowly affected those areas which used to be very cold before. Nowadays they are hot. Those areas which used to be very hot, like example, previously when I was small in Jeddah, there was no rain. Every year it never used to rain like this. So that time I never saw a single plant while going to Makkah. But today, yes, I see the greenery. That means it is adaptation. Because of the environment, I could see.
Yeah, today it's rain.
That's what it is saying about genetics and environment. Can you hear the video, girls? I think yes.
Yeah, miss.
Have devoted time since 1973 to studying natural selection in finch populations on Daphne Major, a small island in the Galapagos. It was observed on the Galapagos Islands that some finches were smaller and had small beaks. They could only eat the small soft seeds that are often plentiful during rainy weather.
See, imagine, previously those birds used to eat very small seeds because they had a small beak. We'll see later what other finches were large and had large beaks.
Other finches were larger and had large beaks. These finches were better at breaking tough seeds. Click the dots to see how the environment may have favored one of these traits over the other.
Now see from 1974 how it changed till 1983.
Miss, if your beak is like big, you're supposed to eat a big seed, and if your beak is small.
Yes.
Really?
That's why, yes, it affects. You imagine the baby, whenever the baby bird, it doesn't, what mother bird do? The mother bird try to break into pieces and give it with its beak to the baby beak.
Oh yeah.
Why? Because they know that this small beak cannot take a lot of things. Understood?
Yeah, also the infants, they can't
Yes,
take like
yes,
a big piece of food.
In 1974, there was enough rain for the plants to produce lots of seeds, including many soft seeds. Most of the finches on the island had small beaks that were suited to eating these soft seeds. Birds with larger beaks were in the minority. In 1977, the rains failed and there was a serious drought. Plants withered and there were few seeds of any kind. The few soft seeds were quickly eaten, leaving only tough seeds. The population of finches with small beaks fell as birds died of starvation.
See?
However, birds with large... In 1977, the rains failed and there...
Rain and there was a drought. Most of the birds with the small beaks died in 1977.
There was a serious drought. Plants withered and there were few seeds of any kind. The few soft seeds were quickly eaten, leaving only tough seeds. The population of finches with small beaks fell as birds died of starvation. However, birds with large beaks were able to survive as they were able to eat the tough seeds. As more finches with larger beaks survived the drought to reproduce and pass on their traits to their offspring.
So can you see in the graph how gradually the birds with the bigger beak, they were increasing? See the red color one, the large beak finches, how they are increasing.
Population of large-beaked finches
Yeah.
increased until a few years after the drought. Large-beaked finches were in the majority. 1983 was a very rainy year on the island. Plants thrived and produced lots of soft seeds. Finches with small beaks had plenty to eat. They were able to survive and produce more offspring than the larger-beaked finches. So finches with small beaks once again made up most of the population.
They again came up because here in 1983 it was a rainy year. So do you think how genetics and environment it gets affected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darwin used what he called artificial selection as an example of how natural selection works. Darwin
also one of the
noticed how
scientists
humans
who was
altered
studying about
organisms such as cattle, dogs, and plants by breeding animals with different traits together. Humans do this to domesticate them or make them adaptable for different environments. He thought that if humans could cause genetic changes in species, or as Darwin called it, descent with modification, then nature could do it on a much grander scale.
So, girls, give me a moment. I'll just drop him and come back.
Miss, did you see the rain today?
You won't believe it did not.
You've learned a lot about natural and artificial selection.
Where do you stay?
جنب المحمدية.
That is near the beach?
جنب المطار. Next to the air.
Yeah, that's why it's raining that side. Here, no, it's not raining.
It's come really.
It was heavy rain?
It's really hard.
No, here.
Like when I see the street, it looks like a sea.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah.
Here, no.
Let's see. Not that.
Okay, let us continue. Sort these types of selection as natural selection or artificial selection. So just drag it out. Please tell me. Is it natural selection or the milder taste?
Natural.
Okay, yes, no, it's artificial. They read the thing. They say the taste, the change, the milder taste.
Oh, okay.
You see what? No, don't say. Now see here the sweeter taste. If you make it more sweeter.
Oh, artificial selection.
Okay, very good. The longer
Natural.
endurance.
Natural.
Also artificial.
No,
It's artificial. It may, this is simple. This is natural.
Yeah, this is natural
They
selection.
say something longer, sweetener. Understood? They made some see a flight.
It's natural selection.
And see protective thorns. This
natural
is selection.
Oh, natural
That's right.
selection.
Now, did you understand the difference between the natural and artificial selection?
A little bit. I didn't understand.
See, like example, my dear, I gave extra sweetness to this corn, or I make it more mild.
Yeah, so like when you
I give injections to grapes to make it more sweeting, or the chickens that day I have shown you, the chicken with spoilers. Those all are artificial selections. But here they did not to the normal. This is the normal flight. This is the normal. So that's why this is natural selection. Got it?
Yeah, Miss.
You were able to sort the traits by whether they were examples of.
Sorry, Malak. Yes, ask me. What were you asking?
Does it count as artificial selection if you put some colorings and stuff?
Everything. Like example, see, even sometimes they make the fruits more sweeter by adding flavors and by adding many different things. Those all are artificial selection. Okay, let us continue.
Natural selection or artificial selection. In artificial selection, people choose which traits to enhance and amplify within a population. In natural selection, traits that benefit the organism's chances to survive and reproduce can become more common in the population.
Okay.
Extinction is when all the individuals in a
guys,
species
the word
have...
extinction, you all can explain me the word extinction. You all know more about this.
Yeah. Extinction when like when something is khalas, like dinosaurs.
Alas. Something
Khalas.
do not exist. It do not exist anymore. Maybe because of some drought or maybe because of some disaster, they finish. Not
Maybe you're right.
that breed exists, so they cannot produce more. That's it. Finally, the last animal who died, and they will not produce anymore. So they become extinct. One of the famous extinct animal is dinosaur.
Yeah. And also like the birds who like take a message and go there. Also that kind of bird.
It's called an extinct animal. Yes, they were birds. They were birds and there were different kind of cats. Those became extinct before.
There's also cats.
Yeah, there were some different kind of cat, you know, which were not looking like a tiger. There are animals like that. And I am saying them as a cat, but they are from the cat family, not exactly cats.
Yeah, like tigers.
Each image
No?
looks...
Yeah, there are some other names given to them.
And on
more
the
about
verge of
extinction.
Okay, let us continue. Let us continue, Malak.
Many of the theories that explain why most dinosaur species, such as Diplodocus, went extinct have to do with sudden or gradual changes to their habitat. The woolly mammoth may have become extinct.
Do you know about them? I mean about it?
Yeah.
Woolly mammoths. They died after losing their main food source. The main food source, they lost their food source, and by hunger, they all died together.
When temperatures changed in its environment. The grass the woolly mammoth ate began to die back. If no individuals in the woolly mammoth populations had traits that allowed them to take advantage of different food sources, then these individuals would die because they would not be able to survive in the changed environment. Over generations, the woolly mammoth species would eventually go extinct. Many species of frogs, including some in the genus Atelopus, have become extinct because of a disease caused by a fungus.
It looks like a frog. They said many special frogs, several species of frogs. Imagine yellow color frog. They all become extincted because one of the fungus, it caused destruction to all of the other kind of frogs.
Yeah, and there's also orange frogs.
That's what I was saying. Other kind of cats also.
Fungus. The fungus is spreading quickly, and the frogs do not have traits that allow them to fight the fungus naturally.
See,
as a result,
they didn't have any option to fight that fungus naturally, and there were no doctors maybe treating those frogs like how they do it now.
Some plants have become extinct after introduced animals such as goats overgrazed on the plants.
See, we had some special olives which are purple in color, so beautiful in color, which they said Helena or olive. What happens that the animals overgrazed, they ate a lot and they finished all of it, even maybe the seeds were gone and everything were gone. That's why it became extinct. Helena olives.
Example, the St. Helena olive, which is extinct or close to extinction, did not have traits that protected the plant from animals that used it for food. Some species, such as the quagga, became extinct due to hunting.
Okay. Quagga. Quagga is a kind of zebra. Maybe only they differ in the color, right? I feel it looks like little brown.
What can contribute to the
lesson? I mean, if I read there and just explain you will not have any interest. And even, explaining these dry topics which don't have pictures will not make you understand much. So if you understand with pictures, you will learn and you will see the video, you will try to get interested in it, you will try to answer it. And that's the reason I'm showing you videos for these lessons, not explaining like line by line how I used to do for cells and okay. So this
Okay.
information is enough, more than enough for you all. Okay, so what can contribute to the extinction of species? Girls, what all you can think that can affect or make an extinct animal? Human interference,
Maybe it's
Predator?
something
lack of food,
No.
or a
Predator?
volcano like
Yes, I think this
eruption.
one.
yes, Vatin? Predator,
Predators.
lack of food also, because if there's no,
Yeah.
like we told that they die because of there was no food. Lack of food,
Species can become extinct if
predators, and also
a great increase in predators can cause their prey to
I told you when it is very hot also, or it, suddenly the temperature change, it can affect.
become extinct. Correct.
Also,
When there are temperature changes over time that affect a
Predators.
species' habitat, food source, or reproduction strategy, species that cannot adapt to the changes can become extinct. Darwin combined all of his research with his peers' research and wrote a book called On the Origin of Species. The book described how species evolved or became extinct over time.
Girls, in the beginning,
concept
I
of
told you
natural
about
selec-
the 4 natural selections. What were they, girls? It was genetic. What all were there? Anyone you remember?
What, miss?
In the first part, I told you about the natural 4 types of natural selection.
The natural selection.
Open up your books and see the 4 types of natural selection.
The adaptation and selection.
I will show you again. It's just like a
The
revision.
genetic variation.
Yes, genetic variation. Very good.
And
What is evolution? Evolution
Adaptation,
adaptation, overproduction,
overproduction. Very good.
selection.
Yes. So these are the 4 kind of, how do you say, yani, the natural selections. Very good. Yeah. 1 minute, girls.
Miss, are they still like colorful frogs not extinct?
Are they still?
Colorful
Natural
frogs,
selection
like
is the process by which
There are the 4. Yes, they exist. There are the 4 methods to do overproduction, genetic variation, adaptation, and selection. Let us go for the last one.
Darwin combined all of his research with his peers.
Better we don't explain, at least names are enough. That it is overproduction, selection, genetic variation, and what is the last one?
Selection, adaptation, overproduction, and genetic variation.
You've learned a lot about the theory of
Now see finally what all cover the lesson.
evolution. Before we finish, let's take a quick look at the main points you covered. Darwin used his ideas and those of others to develop the theory of evolution by natural selection. The theory shows how, by the process of natural selection, adaptive traits are passed down from generation to generation. The most adaptive traits, or the traits that help individuals survive and reproduce, tend to be passed to the next generation. Less adaptive traits tend not to be passed on to the next generation. Mutation is the random change to the DNA of an organism. A mutation may be beneficial to the organism, it can cause harm, or it can have no effect on the organism. Organisms become extinct when all individuals of a species die. Environmental changes and human interference are just
See, what is the meaning of mutation? It's a change in the DNA. Random change to the DNA of an organism is called as mutation. This process is called as mutation.
2 causes of extinction. Now that you've finished this lesson, if you wish, you can go back and review any part.
That's it for this lesson, girls. Thank you so much. It's we have very good weather in Jeddah. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Great weekend, girls. Take care.